How much would you pay for a collector's edition of a game?
Of a particular game?
Just a game, and what would you expect in it?
Oh, God, the last time I saw a collector's edition of a game would have been Assassin's Creed.
That narrows it down by 11 years.
I'm old. But, you know, or even, like, I remember buying Arkham City. You obviously have to have the base game.
Oh, whoa. Okay, I'm going to hold you right there.
No, what?
I'm going to hold you right there.
How?
Well, the new Diablo 4 collector's edition is $150 and doesn't come with the game. So, Diablo fans, do you want to pay money and not get the game?
What the
Right? Like, since when? I mean, that would be as bad as us doing a podcast without a f***ing intro.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Pop, and if you can see us, it's a little different. We have found ourselves back at Courtyard Sound Studios, courtesy of our good friend Ben Radin, and we will get into it, but we're looking at start of a new year.
A new year and a new level of podcast, I like to think. If you're looking at us, you'll be able to see our lovely little logo here. Speaking of, you'll be able to see more of us on social medias. We'll be more active on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube.
Not Twitter?
I mean, I don't even know if we're going to have a Twitter by the time we go live.
Have you got a Twitter story today?
I deliberately didn't put one on because I'm kind of sick of going through it, if I'm honest.
I will admit, okay, I don't follow much of it, but just talking of Twitter is Greta Thunberg and Andrew Tate.
Yeah.
Right? So she was like, email me at Small Dick Energy.
You might want to give the preamble for that.
Okay, it was just, Greta Thunberg was throwing shade at Andrew Tate, rightfully so, because of all the luxury cars and, the amount of CO2 emissions he was causing, and he's obviously sitting there smoking a cigar and all of this masculine, overly toxic crap.
Just Tateism.
Just Tate. Well, I thought you said taintism, and I thought that was perfect.
Taintism. We're copywriting that.
Taintism. But he was basically said, I'm just going to go 2 more of my cars in this instance. And she was just like, send me your email. And she basically wrote down smalldickenergy@getalife.com. And he responds back with saying, oh yeah, thanks for letting us know that you have a small dick.
Did you see the fallout of that from this morning, though?
Did you see the one where he got arrested for for sex trafficking?
But the kicker is, apparently, he was arrested because when he put up the video being like, thanks for yada, 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 whatever, that confirmed his location. So authorities were like, that's where he is.
It was the pizza box.
Yeah.
Warning, folks, don't show where you buy pizza from. Otherwise,
not if you're a wanted criminal anyway.
Yeah. It's that's so funny.
Bit of a giveaway.
Yeah, just a little bit of a giveaway. But to go back on the Diablo thing, what is the logic there?
I don't know. I don't understand. Like, I've thought games have been too expensive for years. I remember when you could get new games for like $50. And now Ubisoft, I think, is raising the price. So from about December this year, so as of a couple of weeks ago, it's $90 for a base game is going to be their standard price, Australian.
Yep.
And like collector's editions, they used to be what was like $80. Now some of them are like $300 to $500.
So
I mean, I think the new Harry Potter one is literally $350 Australian dollars.
You better get a goddamn Nimbus 2000.
I better get a f***ing letter for Hogwarts at that price.
And an owl. At least I expect some
pre-trained owl,
some sort of avian variety.
Right? It's nuts. But to have a collector's edition that doesn't include the game, it's like what a gaming company's coming to.
I think it's gone from becoming a gaming company to being a merchandise company. We've seen the growth of microtransactions and pay-to-win gaming. That it's just becoming a whole different thing.
Not being finished, and I don't just mean they're crap and buggy, because unfortunately that's the thing, but it has always been a thing. But I mean games that don't finish till you buy a DLC, which is the price of a game.
Yeah, no, well that's the thing, is games, when you used to buy a Nintendo 64 game, that game was complete. Sure, you might have been... Buggy, absolutely. But that was also, A, part of the nostalgia, but B, it was just part of the process. Like, you came to accept these kinds of things. Glitches were always a part of it.
And honestly, they weren't as bad as I think they are today.
No. And I think now it's just they're like, oh, we've been able to monetize our failings. We've been able to go from here's a $60 game that is complete. We're able to build a really strong base and we'll be able to go from there.
The story's finished, the characters are fleshed out.
Exactly.
It used to be DLCs were the developers made so much money that they brought the team back and said, like, there's been such a support for this.
Let's do
more. What else
more.
can we give the fans?
That was the important thing. And I think it's those kinds of video games that stand to do well. I think The Witcher 3...
well, that just got a re-release, That is now available on next gen. It is going horribly, if you haven't heard.
Oh.
Now, I must admit, I haven't played it. It is on the list. I said on my gaming channel on YouTube, #self-plug, earlier this year that I haven't actually played The Witcher, but once it's at next gen, I will do a playthrough.
How many times have you played Skyrim if we're going for re-releases? Because we're due for...
yes.
On every platform?
No, I've only played it on PC, but I will play it on PC too if it ever comes out. But no, The Witcher, apparently the next-gen update is horribly buggy and just unstable to the point where the company, I didn't include this in the little prep doc because I didn't think it would come up, but they put out a statement basically being like, yeah, sorry, we'll fix it. But in their defense, this was a free update. So it's not like everyone just paid $110 for more broken software.
Oh, boy. What did you do? Because obviously, it's the end of the year. Happy Festivus, by the way.
Yes, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays and everything to those who've been through it. And been through it like it's a war zone. And Happy New Year coming up. I believe we're publishing within a few hours of New Year.
Well, what did you do for Christmas?
It was a nice family event for me. We had a fairly large extended family, so most of them were over. As it is in still a post-COVID age, some people were sick, so you don't get everyone.
Yeah.
But no, there's big present exchanges and pool parties and so much food.
The usual Australian way. I spent my entire day watching Shane Black films.
I remember that. I spotted that on Insta.
Yes.
You were just going through and I was like, this film now and this film now.
I love the controversial opinion that Iron Man 3 is the best written Marvel Cinematic Universe film.
Oh, I don't agree, but
I'm
definitely willing to hear you out.
It's Shane Black, man. For one. He is one of the greatest writers out there. I love his unique style and take on everything. And it was really the film that gave Iron Man as a character substance, right? He was dealing with so much more. He wasn't just the genius billionaire playboy philanthropist with an ego issue. He was someone with his own
Now he
failings.
had a broken
He had no house. But it was really the best. It was the most fleshed out I'd seen Tony done. And I can
agree with all of that.
I think there was maybe one or two other times, maybe Endgame, where he actually got to make an appearance again, is as a character.
Well, he got a bit expensive to hire.
He did get a bit expensive to hire, and so you lost all of that. And sure, it was kind of tragic, spoilers, to, see Iron Man fizzle out. But yeah, it was probably just, one of the strongest stories. And, obviously the swerve that they did with the Mandarin, beautifully played by Ben Kingsley. I adore that man and just how his approach to it. To get Ben Sir Ben, as he prefers, to get Sir Ben Kingsley in your Marvel movie, the only way you were going to do that was by creating an interesting character.
Well, I love they got him back for Shang-Chi and sort of they retconned all their retconning.
Well, no, I don't think they retconned it. That was the beautiful thing, is because I only noticed that on the Mandarins, I don't know what you'd call it, when they interrupt the feed and you've got the test lines. And you've got
the emergency broadcast
broadcast signal, and you've got the symbol and the sword, and then you have the 10 rings smattered around it. And I feel like it wasn't so much it was doing a retcon, but it was all just setting things in motion. And I think they just utilized the information that they were given to tie into Shang-Chi really well.
Oh, I think they did all that well. My thing with Iron Man 3, and it's the same thing I said about Wakanda Forever. I don't know if I said on air when we talked about it because it was still a bit spoilery.
I think you're good now.
I'm going for it either way. But I think it was that thing where you had someone trying to make a movie about people and you had a studio that wanted to make a Marvel movie. And at some point between the start and the end, it just sort of crossed over. And to be clear, I love a Marvel movie. Just give me comic book action and I'm gold. Give me a good movie, I'm gold. But I think when you have that just bam from one end to the other, it doesn't slide through and it feels like you've had a director come in to shoot, say, 80% of the film, and then a completely different cast, crew, director, yada yada come in for the last 20%. And to me, that sort of throws me out.
I don't know. I feel like he still hit the Iron Man feeling, right? It still felt like he came in knowing that he was directing a Marvel movie and slid in a fair few Shane Blackisms here and there.
Look, for the most part, I completely agree. But I think when we got to the end and it was like, hey, it's a big CGI fight. And it just didn't feel like what the rest of the movie was sort of building to. It felt more out of place to me.
Okay.
And I want to be clear. I love the movie. I enjoy it. But I think it's not... I don't think it's fair to call it one of the best in the MCU.
Oh, okay.
I would actually argue the best in the MCU has been No Way Home. Because that was all comic book.
Is that really allowed to be called... I suppose
it's part of the MCU.
It is part of the MCU. It is still it is a Sony property.
And before I say this, I want to say, again, I love a non-Marvel-y film. But that film was just Marvel-y. Like, it was just a comic book movie, and it went hard into it, unapologetically, and it didn't sort of banter off. And absolutely, it had emotional moments, it had character deaths, and it really hit the feels. But first and foremost, that was, here is comic booky stuff for comic book lovers, and I think it is just the perfect comic book movie, or at least the best one I've seen to date.
Fair enough. Speaking of Marvel, are you excited for the Stan Lee documentary that's going to be appearing on Disney+?
This is the first time hearing
Well,
of it.
Stan Lee actually was going to turn 100 this year.
Oh, I did not know that.
It would have been his 100th birthday. Yeah, just a little bit. And yeah, so there is actually a documentary due on Disney Plus quite soon. And
will it be tasteful, or is this Disney milking the property that they purchased?
Therein lies the question. I mean, no doubt every single person that has created a property is going to be without controversy. But I think that kind of what Stan stood for, like as he grew as a professional, you know, where he was very much, I mean, for lack of a better term, woke.
I'd say
if you want to use that term, open-minded progressive. Some people use the other term, but he was a progressive person in how he perceived his characters, what he wanted them to be, what to represent for who. And no doubts, I'd like for them to go into a bit of the controversy, because I think
we'll find out soon, I guess.
People are human. And that's the most wonderful
what?
thing. No!
Hot take here, ladies and gentlemen.
But yeah, Disney Plus documentary of Stan Lee, very much excited for, because there's so much they can go into.
You know what I'm not excited for?
Okay,
this actually could go a few ways. Ash Ketchum is retiring.
No, I have heard this. And why are you not excited for it?
It's because he's been Pokemoning for as long as I have been Pokemoning.
And like Bart Simpson, hasn't aged.
Yeah, and I know that, like, the TV show's gone in various directions, and they've retconned some things and changed others.
And gave Pikachu a voice.
No, I am not acknowledging that. It never happened.
Why not?
It is, unfortunately, that is one of the things where they are retconning how Pokemon started, and apparently that is now the official start, which I'm like, no, it's not.
Wait.
Yeah.
Go on.
So basically, the official stance is that what happened in that movie is how Ash's journey started, and what's going to happen in this last season is how it ends. And some of that is very exciting. Like, apparently Ash is finally going to meet his dad, which, you know, he's become world champion. I see why Dad would now want to come back into his life. There's massive merchandising opportunities. Speaking of sponsorships, we're open. But it just feels like the end of an era. And, like, I know that the actors who play these characters are fine. So it's not one of those things, but it does just feel like the character that has been there basically my entire life is coming to an end.
Fair. So it is the end of an era, and that's bound to happen.
Yeah. And
I always thought Ash's dad was Giovanni, but I genuinely thought that was the case, but apparently not.
He's Silver's dad.
Who the
Oh, well, I mean, it
hell?
depends on exactly what name you want to go with. Basically, the rival from Gold, Silver, and Crystal.
Yeah.
Yeah, Giovanni's his dad.
Oh.
Really hope I didn't stuff that up, but I'm 99% sure I've got my Pokemon facts right.
You probably have a lot more than I do. You've gone down that rabbit hole. A fair few of my friends are actually Pokemon addicts. Like they
Are
just,
they?
a lot, and
Actually,
they're
to
all
be fair,
surprised.
a lot of people in our generation are.
I don't know. I didn't fall out of Pokemon because it wasn't cool. I was just like, I've got people. I love those that like just build the perfect Pokemon team.
I'm still doing that.
It's a trial and error process, mainly error, but
It's mainly fun. Like, I love, like, I'll build a team through, and then, like, I know you're meant to play competitively and against people like, no, stuff that. I build it, but, like, have them all at level 5 or level 1, transfer them into a new game and play through the storyline with that, and I'm like, what could I improve? What went perfectly? What didn't?
So that's coming to an end. And, like, that's fair. It's sometimes things need to move on. Like, are they completely ending the series?
No, they're gonna start again, new protagonists and whatnot.
Oh, let it happen. Let it happen for a new generation.
Well, I think it really depends on the reasoning. Like, is this they're going on the same thing, but it's like, actually, these voice actors are getting expensive now. It's been 25 years. Or are they, like, genuinely giving us something new?
You got to feel sorry for the singer who did the theme song.
Why's that?
He got paid a flat rate.
Oh!
Yep, because he didn't think much of it. I think he had the option. Now, it could be completely wrong, but I remember years ago, I think it must have been like 2018, 2019. It was like a massive anniversary. And he released it online of him being able to still belt out the song. But then, yeah, you find out that he got paid like a flat rate.
It probably wouldn't be even been like $200 US.
I don't. It must have been maybe about 700.
You reckon? Like, would that have even been union at the time?
No, anime is not union.
So
anime is not
deemed.
Anime is not deemed as SAG-AFTRA work because it's deemed as dubbing. It's a little different. It's why all anime is dubbed out of Texas. I'm going to get our first guest back on. Do you remember who that was?
Well, I just went to say Rupert, but no, that's the one
we're
releasing tomorrow.
Yeah, that is the one we will be releasing for the new year. But I am going to bring on Amy Smith.
Oh,
I'm going to bring back our first ever guest. I am bringing her back as the next local legend, and we're going to go.
Well, I heard it here first, folks.
But it'd be lovely to go into those kinds of things because she's just been having so much of a run in gaming, animation, anime dubbing. It's been insane. But yeah, so anime, not union, and there is a massive fight. We had this discussion about Bayonetta and everything as well.
We did. I was wondering whether we go back there. Like, that has sort of exploded and imploded in multiple occasions since we covered it.
Always.
I think the end of it was the voice actress was actually offered a lot more than she claimed, but it's still probably a lot less than she should have given the value of the production. So she was both in the right and in the wrong, and now fans are like, well, you lied, but you exposed something bad. Like, do I support you? Do I not? It is one of those toss-ups, and again, I'll sort of haven't followed it close enough to be like, this is my opinion, but...
You've got an opinion, that's about as far as it goes. Not all opinions are valuable. That's why we're here, folks.
Right, just valueless opinions for your entertainment.
Now, okay, quick death news. After the World Cup, Pele dies. No?
Sports? What?
Yeah, sports. Don't worry. Forget about it, folks.
This is not the podcast for sports, my friend. This is the podcast for video games, movies, TV shows, and whatever ADHD tells us.
That's fair. There's a brief lapse, but, 2022 is like we've got... Well, actually, hopefully if we release this on New Year's Eve, is that no more people should die. Let's take a Deadpool and see who's the last famous person to cark it for 2022.
Don't you dare name
Don't I do?
Again.
Okay, hang on. No,
actually,
I can't
speaking of, it's not really dying, but one thing I wanted to bring up was copyright is expiring. Which is yeah.
Oh, yes, I heard this yesterday.
All right, which one did you hear?
Wait, there's more? I heard the mouse.
Oh, there's no way Disney let that through. Didn't even.
But no, because you know for a fact that the second that copyright lapses, some smart bastard is going to be online buying all the Mickey Mouse domains that you could ever imagine and is just going to tick over at the right time. But okay, so Mickey Mouse.
But we have Sherlock Holmes and Metropolis.
Wow. Okay.
Along with a few other things. Yeah.
Okay. Because
They are going to enter the public domain.
Is it 75 years after the creator dies?
I believe it's 75.
Okay, 75 years. So Conan Doyle died in what, 37?
Must be.
Wow, okay. And that would mean the same for Fritz Lang. Fair enough.
Virginia Woolf, I think.
Interesting.
Because some pieces, such as To the Lighthouse, are entering public domain.
Okay.
Which begs the question, are we about to see a lot of student and amateur films about Sherlock Holmes or adaptation of Virginia Woolf's work? And then as a follow-up, should we do one?
No shit, Sherlock. But, look, it would be fun. I think it does open up a wonderful world of possibilities. We may get more audio dramas. I think that is, we may get more podcasts, and who knows, maybe we may start up Pop Productions.
Pop Productions.
Or Pop Pictures, something to that effect, with patent pending. But I do love the fact that we are getting these great characters going into the public domain. There's going to be a lot of, Rule 34 stuff going on with Mickey Mouse.
I mean, you never have to worry about public domain for that. It's technically under a parody.
Really?
Yeah, porn isn't subject to copyright.
Huh. Go figure.
I mean, it is within limits.
Within reason, yes, absolutely.
Not legal advice.
Not advice. But it is going to open up a world of content for people. Speaking of Sherlock Holmes, to go on that tangent, have you seen Glass Onion?
No.
I should have told you to watch it.
Yes, if you want to discuss a movie on here, I need to be told.
I'm surprised you haven't seen it yet. I know you wanted to watch it in all its glory, but it's such a fun take.
No, I do want to watch it, but it's one of those ones where I have agreed to watch it with someone, and so now we'll need to line up a time.
Okay.
That said, if you genuinely want to be like, we're doing this for the podcast, I will make sure it's watched before the next one.
It's just remarkably well written. I love how Rian Johnson has gone to just taking the piss out of the genre, very tactfully, the way
he did for Star Wars.
Oh, snap. Take that, The Last Jedi. I mean, almost. Who knows? Maybe we have just been looking at The Last Jedi wrong.
No, I think it looked at the fans wrong has been the problem.
Okay, well, I'll have to wait until you've actually gotten your ass into gear and watch Glass Onion.
We'll do a talk through on
but
that.
It is fantastic. I thoroughly enjoy it. There's some wonderful twists and turns that just don't necessarily come out of nowhere, but yeah. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Have you watched the new Witcher spin-off Blood Origin?
It's on the list. I haven't heard great things. Again, I've heard mixed reviews.
Heard bad things.
Yeah.
I think this has a 42% on Rotten Tomatoes.
All right.
It is tanking hard.
Why?
Well, I mean, there has been the question around the whole Cavill leaving, will The Witcher survive? And which is by extension, well, let alone how would a spin-off have ever survived if the only thing keeping people in was Cavill?
Yeah.
How well is this going to go for Witcher Season 4 without it?
Because is it a completely different story? It's based around a couple of elves, correct?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, so it's still... I guess the thing is that
it's a long time before The Witcher is set.
So it's still utilizing the same continuity. We're not going through the exact lore of the Witcher universe, so I can understand...
I mean, the TV show didn't exactly go through the exact lore.
Very good point. They still ran those things. So if it's not coming with the same love, or it is, No,
I think that might capture it. I don't think it has that love of The Witcher, which is what Cavill clearly had.
Yeah, everyone else is just treating it like a fantasy series.
Or a love of money.
Yeah, but look, I was really excited for it. I'm a big fan of Michelle Yeoh. I still have to see Everything Everywhere All at Once. But, you remember me, I was so disappointed in Shang-Chi when she did not get her fight scene that she deserved.
I wonder if there was a deleted scene of it or anything.
I still need to go into that. I'm going to go into Disney and see if there's actually, on a Disney Plus, and see if there's any deleted scenes. Because it's...
they don't actually give them for every film. It's been a number where I've gone through and watched, and I like to watch deleted scenes after. And they're not there, and you have to go to YouTube. It's well, clearly these scenes exist. You made the product. Why aren't you? I assume they just want to try and drive people to DVDs because I don't know what else DVDs are still made for.
Yeah, no, it's and Blu-rays, yes, get that sweet, sweet high quality, but I mean, the upside is nowadays you can fill so much on a Blu-ray that you can get hours upon hours of content.
But also, like, Blu-ray is so restricted, and I think that's one of the reasons why it tanked so hard. Like,
In what
you
regard?
want Blu-ray, you get a Blu-ray player that has a verified Blu-ray codec and whatnot. Like, DVDs, I can plug it into my laptop, I can throw it in my PC.
It could not have failed harder than, what was it, HD DVD?
No, you had, you had HD VHS.
What?
Yeah, I can't remember the name, but there was a high-definition version of the VHS player.
Huh. Go figure. We'll have to go for a dig on that.
It was a double frame rate thing, but like they did something and you actually get much better dynamic range, much better color, much cleaner images and clearer.
Did you say double frame rate?
I think so.
Okay. Did we need to retract our statement, or at least you have to retract your statement about a certain film that we saw the other week?
No, but I'm glad you bring that up because I have now watched Avatar at 48 frames in 3D. So I've watched the complete opposite of what we did. The original was 2D on 24 frames.
Yeah.
And surprisingly, it was like a substantial step up. I was honestly not expecting it. We had the discussion off air, which I'll definitely bring up, the fact that 3D is still horrendous for people like us who wear glasses.
Yeah.
Because, like, I know in 3 hours, yeah, I got used to the glasses, didn't notice them by the end, but that first hour was nothing but, what's on my, you know, like, just make a bloody clip-on or something.
That's all, right, that's all they need. Just whoever's making 3D glasses, just allow us people with specs, I know I don't have them on at the moment.
He's blind, folks, it's hilarious.
I can see an outline of a thing there, but make it easily accessible. I mean, and this is coming from someone who doesn't usually have issues. Me talking about accessibility, you got something wrong there, 3D folks.
But yeah, I think there's such a wide range of the population who need glasses that it's not going to be interested. But that said, I will acknowledge it absolutely adds a layer to the film. And I can't think of anything, even the original Avatar that I saw, that made me think I would be interested in seeing other things in 3D.
Okay. But I think it was more about the original Avatar, like, pushing the limits of technology at the time. And do you think that, has it fulfilled its purpose? Because they spent a good 10 years. Yeah?
Well, we talked about, or I talked about the Star Wars theory of you, like the prequels and the original trilogy, literally changing how cinema is made, and the sequel trilogy not. It just pushed it, and that's why it will fade.
Yep.
And you know what? I think Avatar 2 pushed it better, but it didn't reinvent it.
Interesting.
Like, it was, I will admit, phenomenal. To see this CG at 48 frames and in 3D, it was more consistent than it was in the 24 frames. It looked a lot better. The depth of field just blew me away. Like, these shots, and like you saw them in 24 frames, they were still good, but some of these shots looked absolutely magic, and that was just brilliant.
Do you feel that it was something that they shouldn't have even bothered with the 24 frames a second? That there may have been just a better option if they really wanted to define themselves as innovators rather than just being
I don't know if you can be accepted for certain ceremonies like the Oscars if you go outside of 24. Like,
really?
I know there are a number of rules of you have to be inside of a certain aspect ratio, and I'm pretty sure the frame rate is one of them.
Interesting.
Yeah.
We'll have
Don't
to go
quote
for
me
a
on
look.
that. I've looked into that just in terms of submissions. So
if there's any cinematographers out there that have an idea of what those kind of parameters are for awards, that would be great.
But in terms of, like, does this make me say I need to see other films at 48 on 3D? No. Do I think it would be really cool to? Yes. So I still think they're only pushing technology and appealing to a niche, which isn't what gave the original Avatar success. That said, it has passed $1 billion.
Yes.
As of yesterday.
I did hit. No, that was internationally, yeah?
Internationally.
Which it looks like it surpassed Maverick, which part of me is just like, aw. I really wanted, like, and look, I really wanted Tom Cruise to go out on like a real high, because we know.
You say going out, he's got 2 Mission Impossibles coming up, and they are going to be incredible.
Oh,
I don't care what anyone says. I'm excited.
I am excited for it. Like, look, Tom Cruise is going to go full Steve Irwin. He's going to.
Oh my God. You can't say that.
Look, that man is going to die doing what he loves, and I feel if he doesn't die while doing a stunt, he's going to be disappointed.
He will, and he'll have to tell the reptilian overlords to send him back to die properly. We should not go into that.
That might get us canned really quick.
Tom Cruise, please come on the show.
Wouldn't that be great? But I have massive respect for that man. Like, just
absolutely. Say what you will about other things.
Yeah, no. As a creative, like as an actor, he's amazing. Go watch him even in the interview with the vampire, and go watch Magnolia if you haven't.
I mean, he's good at what he does.
Exactly, and he's great at pushing the image, the stories that you hear of how he treats everyone on set.
Yeah.
Like, he knows every single crew member by name. And a lot of people gave him crap in COVID. Remember when
I remember the snap, and I'm pretty sure I even said at the time.
I think we discussed it
in one of our last episodes of the original. Like, maybe not the appropriate snap, but it's not like this is someone high up just shitting on people because they're below him. This is someone who was passionate about keeping an industry alive.
Exactly.
And who saw people literally taking that industry down, and he snapped. And again, I don't necessarily defend him, but I don't hate him for it, and I think he was closer to in the right.
If it came from a place of, like, power, and it was just, someone who was completely and utterly power hungry over the matter, then yeah, it would be absolutely wrong.
It just wasn't. And one of the other reasons I will always respect him is he puts his money where his mouth is. Like, you won't get insurance for him. He and Jackie Chan, I think, are the only two uninsurable actors in the world.
Correct.
But he bankrolls it. Like, when he broke his leg, he was the one paying crew to be on hold for 6 months. Like, he puts his money where his mouth is, and I will always respect that as a creator.
Yeah, and, I mean, maybe The Mummy failed, but I think Brendan Fraser actually said the only reason that he believes The Mummy failed is that it wasn't fun.
I didn't see it, so I can't comment.
I haven't seen it.
Maybe that's why it failed.
I do remember the one thing I saw of it was the unfinished trailer that they did. Like they just didn't do they didn't do the sound properly, and so they didn't have any of the major sound effects or anything. They didn't have any backing music. It's amazing even to watch 2 years on.
Speaking of failures and massive amounts of money, have you been following the Microsoft acquisition of is it Activision?
Oh.
Yeah, Activision.
That's been pretty quiet on my radar. What's been happening there?
So there are now no fewer than 6 countries suing Microsoft to stop this happening.
Why?
Right? I mean, are all the politicians actually secret gamers and they're worried that Call of Duty is going to be an Xbox exclusive? Like,
but what is the cause of Microsoft's acquisition of Activision? Right? Does Microsoft already have more than 50% of the market share? And they're like, no, it's going to be too much monopoly. Are you kidding me?
Given that Nintendo owns the biggest 2 franchises in gaming, I think it'd be pretty impossible for them to get anything more than a third. But I mean, seriously, you have that many monopolized companies. What the hell is wrong with Microsoft buying a gaming studio? And for one, they've already agreed to you'll still have games like Call of Duty coming out on PlayStation. They're not going to look at exclusifying anything, and they've got contracts for that. I actually don't understand it. I know a lot of people against it. I just don't buy the arguments.
I just something like that I don't understand. It's like there's so many other mergers that people should have been protesting and didn't.
Right, and this isn't even people. This is the governments that are protesting a company that makes Xbox buying a company that makes video games. Well, how is this the line?
I think there is maybe an issue of how they can push development and creation, that maybe there's a workers issue, but
so what was wrong when they bought Bethesda? I mean, Microsoft have bought, I know there's quite a number of small ones, but at least a dozen gaming companies over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Why is this one? Sony has bought a number?
Sony's now got a few more exclusives, and I think that's upset a few people.
They have, and that's the thing. Sony's been buying things and making exclusive. Microsoft haven't done that yet.
Not
to
yet.
my knowledge. Someone can correct me there.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm correcting myself. I lied. Elder Scrolls 6 will be semi-exclusive. I think it's 6 months of Xbox exclusivity before PlayStation gets it, and the PlayStation getting it isn't confirmed, but Sony do the same thing.
But to me, that just sounds like a porting issue. PC gamers have always been behind the game. I know they don't have an issue porting it, but we would always be behind the ball getting games on PC if it was originally released. It took how many years for...
Well, 20 years to get Halo on there.
Yeah, well, there you go. Yeah, it's just like, what? Well, Halo was originally a PC. Halo was originally PC.
No.
Yeah, the original Halo was a PC game.
No.
Yep. Look it up. Hang on.
Fact-checking this shit.
Do your research.
Oh, if you've caught me.
Well, as far as I remember, And even then, it was around in like 2003. It was always a PC game to begin with. It took so long. Like,
I'm calling bullshit, but let's see.
all right.
Combat Evolved first-person shooter developed by Bungie, published by Microsoft Game. It was released as a launch game for Microsoft's Xbox game console.
F*** off.
Suck it, bitch!
Fine. And it wouldn't have been 20 years because I was playing Halo ages ago.
Well, no, because they brought, I think it was after 4, they started releasing on PC, but to get the original, like we only got Master Chief, like 2 years ago or something?
Something to that effect, Master Chief Collection. All right, fine. And it makes sense. It was their flagship Xbox thing, but do you know how many generations of gaming consoles it's been since the original Xbox?
5.
Oh, okay. Can you do that in
Or
years,
if you're on
please?
PC, none.
We will get PC2 one day.
One day, when graphics cards drop in price, maybe.
Never happening.
Have you seen, they have apparently dropped to their lowest level since 2005, yet an entry-level card in Australia is still like $500.
So we'd need to account for inflation.
Even with inflation. Like, I remember when like $600-700 would net you the top-end card, and I haven't actually been building computers for that long.
Huh.
Like, you could build a budget PC for what a budget GPU now goes for.
Yeah, no, that sounds about right. I don't even want to touch GPUs.
Okay, that's fair. Let's keep moving.
There's a lot of moving parts there that I'm just like, nope.
Actually, the GPUs are primarily made up of non-moving parts.
They do have a fan, which in a way moves.
Oh, shit, you're right. I'm just thinking on the board. I'm like, no, everything's soldered now. We don't have hard disks or anything.
It's the whooshy noise.
The whooshy noise.
The whooshy.
Completely jumping, would you believe that for, I think, like the 12th time, the new Harry Potter game has been delayed?
I mean, it's a game in the modern era. I shouldn't be surprised.
You know what surprised me more?
What?
It's coming to Nintendo Switch.
Okay.
Like, have you seen the gameplay for this game?
I have, and
it looks pretty intense.
It doesn't look too bad.
Actually, no, we're going to play a guessing game.
Okay, I'm not. For those who are playing the audio game, Wombat has decided to turn his laptop away from me, so I'm not allowed to see anything.
How old do you think the processor, the APU, so both the CPU and GPU in one unit, how old is the APU on the Nintendo Switch?
11T7. On the Switch, what year are we in?
We are currently in 2022, about to hit 2023.
And the Switch came out 6 years ago? 7?
Around that time.
Around 7 years ago, I'm going to say that the APU is about 10 years. I'm actually going to say that the APU is older than the Switch.
You actually nailed it. It is 10 years old. I mean, I know the Nintendo Switch gets a lot of shit for good reason. Like, the new Pokemon game was averaging about 2 frames a second at launch, which has been a problem since Let's Go came out, I think, 4 years ago now.
Yeah.
How the hell is Hogwarts Legacy going to play on that? Like, are they going to take it back to, like, 2001 animation and graphics where it's just the static images moving on the screen?
That would be hey, man, that is a choice. That is an active choice, and I'm sure they could get away with it. But
Nintendo,
I'm going to take a stab that when they made the Nintendo Switch, is it Lite? They've
made the Nintendo Switch OLED and Nintendo Switch Lite, both of which have the same APU.
Same APU. They're obvious. I reckon give it another 6 months and they will drop a new bit of hardware.
People have been saying that for 4 years.
But it's in the requirements of what is offering. Like, they will figure out how to optimize the thing, but Nintendo's always been one for, not necessarily, I don't want to say innovation, because obviously
I'm going to disagree if you said that.
Well, no, but it's gimmicks, and it's kind of shown in some respects. Like, not everything has lasted. I mean, the N64 was great. It was, and that was something that was going to last. People still play it. But since like the Wii U, and all of those things...
You mean the things that have stopped functioning?
Yeah.
No longer have online available?
No longer have online availabilities, but those kinds of things haven't stood the test of time, and I think they're trying new things with the Switch. They're trying to find their modern niche.
Beating a dead horse rather than being like, this will survive.
Yeah, but they've probably gone, right, the handheld gaming device does work, and, making it so that it is able to be played on a big screen quite easily, and making it portable. Like, that's the fine line that they're trying to get right, because, obviously you have to have enough processing power in order for it to be able to be played at such, like, on a massive screen, like your 70-inch TV or whatever it is that you have, or on this tiny one. Obviously, it's going to require less power on this small screen and to run more efficiently, but they want to have it so that, when you're playing it on there, it still works.
I mean, you say it still works, like, not as if every game that comes out doesn't have playback issues and frame rate issues and the game just not being able to load and deal. I mean, the new Pokemon game, there are like almost minute-long load screens to get into isolated rooms.
That takes me back.
It does, right?
Minute-long load screens. Man, it was a particular game that... It must have been Grand Theft Auto? No.
I mean, I had a PS2. I had a number of games that were multi-minute load
there
screens.
was a game that was released on all three platforms. It was like, Xbox 360, PS3, and PC. And
Simpsons Hit and Run?
No. It took like 5 minutes for PC load times. And
no, you are right.
There was a particular one where it was so janky.
I think it might have been Grand Theft Auto. Maybe Grand Theft Auto 5 on its initial release, not one of the 28 re-releases.
Yeah.
Man, that thing is going to tie Skyrim soon.
I mean, hey, it's like...
Actually, I think they're both from the same generation.
Skyrim and GTA...
Yeah, GTA 5.
GTA 4, probably. GTA 5 has been around for a long time, and they keep re-releasing that.
I think it came out at the end of the third generation of gaming, which is where Skyrim's from.
Are you just going to have to do a self-correct at the end of this and find out?
Potentially. Maybe it'll be in a future Gamesplaining episode.
Oh, there you go. There's a good topic for you.
It's a good topic. We'll take it on that. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Be sure to check us out on TikTok, on Instagram.
Hang on. Wait, we're rapping?
I thought that's what you said.
No, I was just telling you. Sorry, it's just kind of come to an end all of a sudden.
Well, you said take it out.
Watch your mouth.
What's your mouth?
In any case, folks, have a lovely rest of your 2022, which might only be a couple of hours, the way we look at it, and we will see you in 2023. We are going down a completely different route here, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
The following podcast is a co-production between Fawcett Fictions and Wombat Poo Productions. Our opening and closing theme is Road Trip by Joaquin Karadi. Be sure to follow us on all facets of social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all at This Is a Popcast. And finally, don't forget to subscribe, follow, like, and all those things you do with your podcasts, and leave us a 5-star review wherever you listen to us. And hey, we'll see you next time.
Did you seriously just interrupt me because I was the one doing the ending and you wanted to do the ending?
I always do the ending.
No! We are starting a new thing, you just f***ing said it.